Today, I would like to talk about something that I see over and over again with families of patients who are terminally ill and moving towards end of life. Loving families, doing what they believe is right, and unintentionally making the weeks or days that are left of life more difficult. Not because they don't care, but because no one has ever explained what actually matters at end of life. Hi, I'm Nancy Lee. I'm a nurse practitioner certified in hospice and palliative care. I've spent the last 25 years of my career working with patients who are at or near end of life. So today, I'd like to discuss that there is something that causes more distress and anxiety in families in the final weeks of life than almost anything else. It's not the diagnosis. It's not medications. In today's discussion, I'm going to be talking about why eating and exercise are not the priorities in the final weeks or days of life. I will hear families say things like, they're not eating, or they just won't get out of bed. And the fear behind those words is palpable. Are we giving up? Are we letting them starve? Shouldn't we try harder? Today, I'd like to gently explain why eating and exercise in the final weeks of life are not only unimportant, but often not helpful and sometimes cause more distress to the person who is terminally ill. When someone is within weeks or days of death, the body is not shutting down because that person's not eating. They are not declining because they lack calories. The body is declining because of the disease process itself. At this stage, metabolism slows. The digestive system weakens. Organs begin conserving energy. Hunger naturally disappears. This is not starvation. This is physiology. The body no longer needs fuel in the way it once did because it is no longer preparing for long-term survival. Now, families will often say, well, if they would just eat more, they'd get stronger. Near the end of life, food does not reverse the process. Calories do not restore failing organs. Protein does not rebuild a body that is shutting down. Forcing food can cause all kinds of problems like choking, aspiration, nausea and vomiting, increased respiratory secretions, and agitation. Comfort, not calories, becomes the priority. Now let's talk about movement. Fatigue in the final weeks and especially the final days of life is profound and appropriate. The body is conserving energy for core essential functions. Pushing activity can cause falls, shortness of breath, cardiac strain, increased pain, and severe exhaustion. Rest becomes sacred. Stillness becomes part of the process. Now, in our culture, food is love. Encouraging someone to get up feels like hope. But sometimes pushing food or activity is really about easing our anxiety, not improving our loved one's comfort. There needs to be a shift from fixing to accompanying your loved one on their sacred journey towards end of life, shifting from extending life at all cost to honoring the life that remains. So what really matters in the final weeks of life? Comfort, presence, gentle repositioning, symptom management to relieve pain or other distressing symptoms, soft touch, gentle reassurance, maybe a spoonful of ice cream or a sip of coffee, or maybe nothing at all. Let the patient lead. The goal is no longer strength. The goal is peace. You are not starving them. You are not giving up. You are allowing the sacred, natural process of dying to unfold. Sometimes the most loving act is not by adding something, but letting something go. Thank you for listening. I hope this was useful. Please, if you would, leave comments or questions in the comments section. I'd love to hear your opinion about this. This can be a very hotly debated topic. I appreciate you listening. I will see you in the next one.